Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we go. You know what? It has been about 3 weeks since I recorded What the Crow, but it feels like 117,000 days. So I I'm so excited to be back with you. Um, lots has happened. Lots have happened. Lots of things have happened, and I'll share some of those with you. But I am so excited just to be back in this seat, recording again. Um, One thing has not changed, and that is the theme song that we have because I recorded it. It's about being kind.
And with the quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human.
Oh my goodness. So I'm so excited about the quote that I am going to be chatting a little bit about today. And it is from someone who I'm sure you've heard of, the quote that, because there's a lot of quotes from him. The name is Buddha. And the quote for today is, if you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. Give up everything that weighs you down. So we're going to dance for about 30 seconds because dancing gets the heartbeat ready. It gets it ready to experience all that you have to experience throughout the day. And it also reduces stress. So here we go. Come on, y'all. Dance. Hey. Mm. Yeah. You know, I love to dance. so, um, so the quote today is from Buddha, and it is, if you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. And I thought this was very interesting because who doesn't want to fly? I mean, we want to catch, there's a saying, catching flights. We all want to catch flights. We all want to fly. We want to go from where we are to someplace else. Some of us, we want to fly to a beach or to some exotic place. Some of us want to fly to South Africa or New Zealand or Fiji. So there's a lot of people who want to fly. But just like when you are flying, they only let you take certain things because there's a certain capacity of weight that the airplane has to be under in order for it to get enough lift to fly. And so I thought that it was very interesting that that Buddha talks about, if you want to fly, you got to give up everything. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. But I do want to backtrack a little bit and tell you some of the things that have been going on, that have really been the reason for the space between the episodes. So let's see. Last month, I moved into from a 2 bedroom condo to a 3 bedroom home that I love. It has a big yard. Um, my fiance and I, we love the space in the room, and so it's really been a beautiful place. But it takes some time to pack, move, unpack, and get set up. And so, um, part of the reason for this hiatus has been me being gentle with myself, because that is one of the things that I'm learning. And one way that I was gentle with myself through this process is not barreling through and forcing myself to do it when really I was tired and I just needed some rest, because I knew that I wanted to create a certain atmosphere in me doing the podcast. And so here's one of the lessons that I learned. One of the reasons why I fell in love with the house is because it had a beautiful loft with a beautiful bookcase, and I wanted to color coordinate the bookcase. And I did that, but I realized that um, recording a podcast in a loft that's very airy is probably not the best place. So, while I may be doing some podcasts there, just so I can kind of see how it sounds, if the house is completely quiet, I may try it. But I also wanted to create, I love creating beautiful things. And one of those things was this green wall that's behind me that I absolutely love. Um, and so, it took some time to get it all together. But I am in the process of just tweaking the space because I believe that um, your home is a reflection of you. And Oprah Winfrey says that when you come home, your home should rise up to meet you. And I love being around beautiful things and things that are uplifting and encouraging. So that is one of the reasons for the space in between the episodes. One of the other reasons is because we got a dog. And these I may do two other episodes about this whole thing because it's really been an adventure because I've never really had a dog, and to have a puppy and train the puppy and get up and walk the puppy and feed the puppy, like it's really been like, we have an infant baby here. So it's been very, very, I say it's very, Lily is her name. Lily is very exciting. That's how I'm classifying it. And so, it's been a beautiful start to the year. It really, really has been. And when I was doing a little research for some quotes for today, this one by Buddha really stood out because I have been in this process of releasing weight. And um, I was like, well, who is Buddha? I hear Buddha's name a lot in quotes. He was a philosopher. Um, he meditated. He was both a spiritual leader and a religious leader from India. And so I just thought it was a really great quote to share at this time because lots is changing where we are over this past year. I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talk about a lot of the changes that are happening, and releasing is one of those changes. And so I really was thinking about, the fact that we all want to fly. We all want to live our best life. We all want to, experience beautiful and great things. But the other side of that is the release that is required in order to do that. And I thought it was very interesting that Buddha said that we have to release everything, not like, you know, two or three things. He said that you have to give up everything that weighs you down. Everything. Like he didn't say three things that weigh you down. You have to give up the top three things that weigh you down. He said everything. You have to give up everything that weighs you down. And I was like, wow, like it's very interesting that flying requires a giving up. And so, it really made me think about, okay, well, what is in my life that is heavy? What is heavy that needs to be given up or released? And one of the things that I have given up over the last couple of years. I've been in a personal development program, and one of the things that I have given up is this thought that I got to do everything, be every place. Like, nope. you know, and it is really, it has been difficult because, um, I've always been a person, I've been a people pleaser. I always want to make everybody happy and support everybody and a cheerleader for everybody. And, you can do it. But, sometimes it requires that I'm my own cheerleader and that I support myself. And one of the ways that I support myself really is by giving up this way that I have been for most of my life. And almost being the opposite of that until I have some practice and then shifting more to the middle. So for me, um, it's funny because Dennis used to say, um, used to remind me that when I hear you say, I'm not doing that, I know that that means you're serious. And so we were talking about this one day, and I was like, when I say I'm not doing that, I am saying it, but I'm also saying it so that I can hear myself say it. It's kind of like another layer of confidence. Like, I'm not doing that. Not just no, but I'm not doing that. And that is some of the practice that was required for me to really be able to say no and mean it. And so I was thinking about some of the things that um, we might have to give up in order to fly. And what comes to mind is rejection, that just like no may be required of us, we also may hear no from other people. And realizing that even as we share our dreams and our greatest desires, those belong to us. And everybody may not have the same glasses that you have. Everybody may not be getting on the same plane that you are on. So they don't see any value of going to Fiji or South Africa or Egypt or wherever it is you want to go or do. But that still does not negate the fact that you have a desire to go there. And so it may be that we have to give up fear. And one of the things that I remember Iyanla saying is that fear really is not there, because if a doctor were to cut your body open, they couldn't be like, yep, there it is, fear is right there. So really it's just a thought. It's things that we imagine. And their fear really keeps us not just from flying, but really being and becoming everything that we could possibly be and become, because we are focused on the shoulda, woulda, couldas. And a lot of time that's the very thing that keeps us stuck. Even as it relates to being inadequate, or sometimes what is called the imposter syndrome, that may be part of the everything that we have to give up, because we can do it. And even if the doing of it doesn't quite look the way that you imagined it would look, you can still do it. Being inadequate really is you not seeing the potential that God put inside. Because really, we have everything that we need to do whatever we need to do. It may not look how we think it's going to look, but we have everything that we need because we can also learn along the way. And that is one of the things that my life has really shown me is if I just take a couple of steps in the direction that I think I need to go, that I desire to go, really the other steps that I need to take fall in place. But I think a lot of us are weighed down with fear, inadequacy, um, which leads to regret, that we're stuck. We're stuck where we've always been. We are stuck in the airport. We're not going nowhere. Our flight has been delayed yet again because we refuse to let go. You know, it's so funny. I'm reminded of um, when one particular time, I forget where we was flying, but I had too much luggage. And they were like, you are 10 pounds overweight or 7 or whatever it was. And so immediately, the stuff that I took out was not important because I was not going to let 7 or 10 pounds of excess get in the way of me going to the place that I wanted to go. Not only wanted to go, that I had already paid for, they were expecting me. I was not going to let 10 pounds of excess get in my way. And so, if that is the case of flying to a destination, that is also the case of you living the life that you were created to live. The excess is just different. It's not clothes and shoes. It's regret, fear, failure. But if you don't get rid of it, what's already paid for you, people are waiting for you to get to where you need to get because that's going to help them get to where they need to get. And so, this whole thing of releasing and giving up everything that weighs you down is extremely important because other people are waiting on you and watching. People are watching you just like you're watching other people. People are watching you. And so it's so critical and so important to move beyond and give up those things that you have been telling yourself that you are incapable of doing. Because the reality of the situation is you can do it. Just like I took them clothes and shoes out of my suitcase. Because I was like, listen, I got places to go. And sometimes it's easier for us to see it in the physical than it is in the emotional or in the feelings or in the thoughts that we're having. But really, it's the same. You still need to give it up. if you are going to fly. And so, we're going to step in the coaching corner just for a minute. If you on YouTube, if you subscribe, then you see this beautiful and wonderful hat that I have on. You can't see it unless you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Tawana Hill. But I wanted to give you a takeaway, something that you could try that may seem, and I would encourage you not to disregard what I am about to say. Not because I'm some expert, but just because it may be different. And sometimes creating an opening and a space to do something different is just what you need to do to give up the weight. And so this one thing is to write down what you think is weighing you down that you need to get rid of. Write it down. And then write down some thoughts and some feelings that you have about it. An easier way would be to journal about it. So get what is in your head through your fingers onto a piece of paper. Because that takes your thoughts, what you're thinking about your inadequacy and fear, what you're thinking about, gets it out of your head and onto the piece of paper. And then you can disregard the piece of paper. And so that's one thing that you can do to help release the weight, because you got places to go. But you can't get there if you don't give up everything that is weighing you down. Well, until we meet again, I hope that you use this quote to create kindness with yourself. Because I wrote a song about it. You want to hear it? Here it goes.
And with the quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness, be a kind human. Be a kind human.